Hi guys, welcome to Card Talk with me, D2. Alongside with me is Joey and Impact. And how you guys doing?
Doing well.
Ah,
How are you, D2?
I'm doing alright. That was a really bad introduction. I'm sorry. Uh, what we're trying to do, obviously, there's been a bajillion, card reviews out there. We're calling this Card Talk. We're going to be interacting with chat, just kind of a really chill atmosphere. I have some beers with me, even though it's 10 in the morning, and we're gonna have fun with it. So,
yeah.
how about we get some introductions? How about you introduce yourself, Joey?
Hi guys, my name is Joey. I started playing Hearthstone in closed beta back in like December of 2013 or so. I picked up Handlock and haven't really looked back too much since. I have several, like five top 100 finishes under my belt, including three for this qualifying season. And I just recently hit rank one on Sunday with Handlock. So yeah, just not too long ago.
Cool, cool. Very impressive. And Impact, how about you give a little bit of introduction of yourself?
I'm Impact. I've been playing Hearthstone since April 2014. I'm a pro player for Team Luminosity. I also hit rank 1 Legend with Handlock this season.
Ooh.
So Handlock's pretty good. Yeah, not much has changed. People know me as Impact. I'm the hunter guy for Tempo Storm. Yeah,
All right.
easy
Um,
peasy.
all right. So, and if people don't know me, I'm D2. Probably most famous for reaching top four of worlds last year. I did not make rank one with Handlock this season,
Rip.
unfortunately. But all right. So, before we get started, I think it's necessary that I start with a beer here. We actually have fall flavors, guys, in Japan. They're here. They know my sensibilities. It's been way too hot in summer. Like it's like Christmas, decoration or Christmas like ads coming out in October, right? Like for kids.
Yeah,
Like they can't wait. I can't wait for fall, so I had to go scoop these fall beers up. And even though it's 10
easy.
in the morning, we're gonna start. And we're gonna see which fall beer wins between Asahi, Sapporo, Suntory, and Kirin. What do you guys think is gonna win?
Beer.
Uh,
The beer.
Santihi. Santihi.
The Santi. It sounds like a
Honest,
Hawaiian thing. Suntory.
Honestly, it's
Alright.
gonna be the one that gets you drunker.
so, so
True,
the
yeah.
so
The
the last
highest
one
performer.
so the last one I pick is gonna be that one. All right.
Last one's
Uh,
the best.
by the way, if you guys are gonna be in and out of the chat or whatever, I am gonna be uploading these to YouTube, so look forward to that.
Yeah.
Sinjiji says Asahi's great, awesome. All right, so a couple of things. We are going to. I got opinions from a couple of pretty good Japanese players as well, so we'll be talking about that as well. Actually, do you want to go do that now, or do you want to get right into the cards?
Ah, doesn't
Doesn't matter. I'm
doesn't
sorry.
matter.
I'm the one planning this. I should be more on top of this, but
Uh,
I guess we'll. I mean, since it's not like really a surprise at this point what the cards are actually do or what what they are or anything. So we could just talk about the overlying, just like the theme of the cards, basically. So I'll just ask you a question that I asked a couple of Japanese players, and just first of all, what do you think about the new mechanics Inspire and Joust?
I guess start with me.
I yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Good.
okay. Yeah. So Inspire is for now. It seems a little bit clunky. Using the hero power is just something that generally isn't favored over playing a card, and it takes a lot of benefit to justify using a hero power over playing a card. So until they can maybe work the kinks out around that, I don't think Inspire decks are going to do too much. Joust, on the other hand, is pretty interesting because of the just heightened effects of winning jousts. So you can design decks around beating certain types of decks, right? If you have like a heavy control deck or something, your joust generally will just win over most other like aggro decks, for example. So I'd like to see how joust plays itself out in decks and matches as TGT is rolled out.
Yep. Impact. What do you think?
I think that we're looking at mechanics like Joust and Inspire like the wrong way. Like we weren't exactly hyped for like the Enrage mechanic, for example. Like it's just something additional for your cards. Like I don't think that there's going to be like an Inspire based deck. Probably just like maybe an Inspire based card here or there. Like the Murloc Knight might be good enough to play as just like a card, for example. Like depends on the average effect of the card. So I mean, that's not exactly like going to be like a deck. It's just going to be something that sees play based on if the deck wants it or not.
Yeah, I tend to agree. There's not going to be an entire deck filled with Inspire cards. And one of the things, if you guys have been playing the Tavern Brawl this week, there's cards that kind of synergize with each other, but they're not all Inspire cards. You know, they're just like one of the cards, like the 2/6, I forgot her name, makes your hero power cost less or something like that, and then you use that with like Koldara Drake, and then with something that inspires, and then all of a sudden you have all this synergy. I mean, it's hard to get out, but I think if we do see like a bunch of the same cards built around Inspire, it's gonna be like that and not like a bunch of Inspire cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you want me to read the Japanese guy? I mean, this like, okay, so one Japanese guy had a really really long answer, and the other guy was just like, yeah, okay. Do you want to hear the answer now, or do you want me to like save it toward the end, or I could just post it on YouTube later or something?
Say it. Why not?
All right.
More, you know.
All right. So, for you Japanese people out there, or people who are studying Japanese, I guess I'm just gonna put this on the screen. Have here. I'm putting my. I'm gonna cover you guys up for a second because it's like really long.
Yeah. All right.
All right. And you guys get to hear me speak or read Japanese and like stumble over everything right now. All right. So, what do you think about Inspire and Joust? And then so he says, 個人的にはインスパイアは面白いシステムでとはあると思うけど、ほとんどインスパイアカードはコストパフォーマンスはあんまり良くないと感じた。So he's saying that the Inspire is like a good system kind of, but like the cost to performance ratio is like not very good. Then he says,
yeah, makes sense.
インスパイアカードを出した単にヒアパワーを使うことで確実に1回は効果を発動できるが、その場合の効果はバルクライのカードたちと比べて広いものがほとんどだ。So, you can use them on the same turn, or you can inspire on the same turn, but it's not, if you do that, they're not going to be as strong as just the battle cry cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then, インスパイアの特徴として場に2ターン以上残れば2回以上効果を発動できるし、一度のヒーローパワーで場にいるすべてのインスパイア効果が発動する。So you can, but with Inspire, the thing about them is you can use it more than once, or you can use it over more than one turn, or if you have a bunch of them in the field, with one hero power you can trigger them all. So だから一度しか効果発できないバラクと違って対効果が低めに、設定されているのだろう。Sorry about my crappy Japanese. Anyway, so
I mean, I couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, I'm stumbling over it is the point. Anyway, so he's saying that like obviously you can't make it as strong as Battle Cry for that reason.
Yeah.
This guy like went all in on this. 2回以上効果を発動できれば強力なのは間違いないが、コースの割に節圧が低めに設定されるインスパイアカードはインスパイアカードたちは2ターン以上生き残る場面そう多くはないとだろう。So he's saying like even though if you can trigger it twice, it's really strong, but because they're weaker for their cost, that's like not gonna happen.
Yeah.
ほとんどのインスパイアカードにはあまり期待していないが、出した単に一度だけ使うような使い方でバラカリ並みの強力な効果を持っているカードは当然使われることになるだろう。So, I'm not really expecting much, but the cards in which you can, when you use it on the same turn, when you use Inspire on the same turn and they're as strong as a Battle Cry card, those are the ones going to be used. And then, so his next sentence, like, 公開されたInspire カードの中でも最もそれに近いのは Confessor Patris だと思う。So he's saying the card that makes me think of that the most is Confessor Patris. So you can like use it and you can get the Inspire off, and it's like as strong as like a Battle Cry basically, because you're going to get less.
Yeah.
I guess I should have introduced this guy right away, or so like he has like so he's like a decent player. So here are his accomplishments here. Just a bunch of top places in like open tournaments and stuff like that. and he actually won this Backspace Tuesday Night Hype. His name is Cross. So just throwing that out there. And then this is taking way too long. I'm not going to read all. So basically, as far as Joeysc is concerned, I read earlier. He's saying that with regard to it's easier to use in control because your thing's going to cost more, and so like percentage wise, you're gonna like it might be useful in control, whereas aggro is not going to be able to use as much. This other guy, Kuno, you can see his answers are much shorter. This guy's pretty good. He was rank 2 he finished rank 2 on any server in June, I think, and has a bunch of firsts here. Won for Tuesday Night Hype as well back in the day, and a bunch of firsts here as well, in Open Cups. So he says, Inspire トレード、シール形のカードデザインなのは良い。しかし、ほとんどのカード自体の性能が足りない感じがある。So he's saying that it can force trades, so that's good. However, the bodies themselves are not enough. And then for the Joust, he says that thanks for adding more luck into the game, Blizzard. And then so anyway, sorry that took so long. So what do you guys think of those comments?
Pretty much on point.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I kind of want to get like the opinions of Japanese players as well, because we've been hearing a lot of stuff from
the Western scene,
and like I mean, most of the Japanese players play in NA anyway, but you know, sometimes they have different opinions as well, and people don't really talk about Japanese scene, so I wanted to give them some light. That's okay with you guys?
Absolutely.
Anyway, so yeah, we can go through the next questions later, because that's kind of after. Because I asked them, you know, what are the 3 strongest cards and cards that you're looking forward to. So we can kind of go back to that after we go through all the cards.
Sure.
All right. How are you guys doing? Sorry, I've been like talking for a while. Joey, you alive? Joey, you're muted. Joey, you're muted.
Joey.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, yeah, I thought the opinions were good though. Yes, I apologize for the mute.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I saw your mouth moving. I figured you were. I mean, before that, I figured you were maybe trying to talk to someone else while we were.
Yeah, no. I was trying to type on my keyboard, which can get incredibly loud sometimes.
Okay.
So yeah, I forgot to unmute there. But that's okay.
I also asked Koroneko, and he never got back to me because yeah, and then so now he's in chat, and then he's actually posting his stuff now. Wait, what? I never. Wait, he put his achievements in the channel, but he didn't put his answers in the channel. Koroneko, kotae wa?
Oh, close enough, right? Same thing, basically.
Same thing, just put his achievement. I asked them for the achievement, just like kind of lend legitimacy to their opinions, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so why don't we just get started? Enough foreplay. Let's just get into this.
Foreplay.
Yeah. I know, right?
Nice
so
choice.
Yeah. So our rubric here is the best is OPOP, and then good and meh, bad and garbage. And you can see right there. So OPOP is stuff that's really strong, pretty obviously strong, and basically auto includes in the right decks, and on top of that, like maybe they're so strong that you can like make decks, like you can kind of create your own decks out of that. Good, you're likely to see play, not always, but pretty strong cards. Meh is occasionally see play. They're probably pretty decent cards, probably pretty strong in Arena, for instance. But they're just not as good as the OP cards that currently exist. Bad is just hardly ever will see play. Might be like okay kind of cards in Arena, and then garbage, never see play, and even in Arena, it's just like they're just horrible. So that's our rubric. You can go between. You can be like between meh and good, or you can go like meh plus or like bad minus.
Meh 0.5.
Yeah,
it's meh 0.5, guys.
All right. Alright, so it looks like Koronako, he's answered on Skype, so we'll get back to him later.
Okay.
Anyway, alright, so the first card we're gonna go with is we're gonna start with Paladin, because that's randomly the order that came up, And the
Sure.
first one is going to be King's Defender. Oh, sorry, Warrior. My bad. This is Warrior card.
Oh.
Sorry, King's Defender. And the battle cry. It's a 3 attack, 2 durability weapon, and for 3 mana. And the battle cry is if you have a minion with taunt, gain +1 durability. All right. Start with you, Impact.
I'll start. Yeah. Like most decks would really like a 3 attack, 2 durability weapon for 3 mana. Like we're already looking at Eaglehorn Bow, which already sees a ton of play. Power Mace. Unfortunately, this is a warrior card where they already have Fiery War Axe for 2 mana, and they have Deathbite for 4. So it seems like you're going to be like overcrowded on weapons. However, I think that it might have place as a one of in a control deck if you're really looking for like another early game weapon, because like aggressive decks can run away with the game early, right? So just having another early game answer could be important. It also depends on if you're actually getting the battle cry off, because that's another important deal. If this taunt warrior theme that they seem to be pushing ends up paying off, then we might have a better card than expected. Alternatively, it could just end up seeing no play because we already have Fiery War Axe and Deathbite. So
Yeah, I more or less agree with that. What do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I think the same thing. Since Warrior already has Fiery War Axe, I just don't think King's Defender really fits unless they do some sort of taunt warrior. I guess they can get a little bit more value out of it since it's just all packed into one card. But the only taunt minions we see right now are like Unstable Ghoul, and no one wants to throw their Unstable Ghouls out there unnecessarily unless it's a hyper aggro deck, if you're like Patron Warrior, for example. And will we see Unstable Ghouls in Control Warrior? Probably not. That was experimented with early on in Naxxramas, but it's since phased out. So, but you already have effective weapons. Don't think you need to overcrowd your deck with more than just 2 Death Spites and 2 Fiery War Axes, or in the Patron's case, just 1 Fiery War Axe, since you guys have a lot more early game options than the typical Control Warrior. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to even put this in a taunt warrior deck. I mean, you could, but you get one durable. It's kind of nice, I suppose. But you might as well just play cheaper War Axe. Like even if you're just playing taunt, warrior. Like I feel like, how are you going to fit this in? I guess what you could do, I guess, is play taunt warrior with that new card that has taunt and gives other things taunt.
Yeah, the sparring partner.
And then you maybe get rid of Deathbite or something, and then this is slightly better because you don't want to be hurting your own minions in that situation, and you kind of just want to have like as much health and blocking as possible. That's like the only way I can see this making sense. And it's like Impact was saying earlier, like maybe you want an extra weapon to make sure that you get an early weapon. Like you're playing against, like maybe there's a lot of Zoo in the ladder or something, and you're like, I have to get a weapon early. And like sometimes, like it's always been if you miss on Fire War Axe, well you lose. There are certain matches you just lose if you miss on Fire War Axe. So that might be a thing, but then it's not going to be a taunt thing. It's just you just kind of put it in your deck. Just have extra weapon. All right, so let's go to the next one. It's going to be these are going to be warrior cards. First off, by the way. So next one's Bash. Simple card, 3 mana, deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. We didn't
rate the King's Defender.
All right, so I'm gonna say meh. Say meh. It's like okay. It's like you can. Yeah. It's good, but it's not as good as the other cards that Warrior already has. It's kind of like the definition of this.
I like that. I would say meh as well at best. Maybe bad 0.5. I would go with.
Okay. All right. So let's go.
Yeah, meh. Meh seems good.
Let's go to Bash. So Bash, deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. I'm gonna go between meh and good here. It's like it's useful, but they already have the shield block shield slam combo. Obviously, that's a combo. It already does that. It's basically like a strictly better drain life. But you could also do it to phase too. That's also a thing. It's kind of nice, I suppose. All right, what do you guys? We'll start with Joey then, I suppose.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Bash again doesn't really, or just like kind of overlaps, I think, with weapon removals and stuff, like dealing 3 damage just for 1, gaining 3 armor. You're not drawing a card or anything like that. Obviously, it has combo ability, but it just seems like it overlaps with cards. I don't know if you'll like forego a shield block or something and like to deal 3 damage, keep your Fiery War Axe, or forego an axe just to gain some more armor and just have more cycle in your hand. But to me, it has an overlapping effect that Warrior already does pretty well.
Right,
Eh,
Impact.
I think it could actually be pretty good. Like, I was saying how you might want to play one King's Defender as just like another answer to early game. Like, Bash is another like really flexible answer to early game. Like, gaining 3 life and killing a minion for 3 mana is pretty high up there on utility. And later in the game, you can use it with a weapon. Like, you can use it with a Deathbite charge to kill Doctor Boom or something. Like later in the game. So it's not like the worst card ever, and it might see play as like a one of in just like the standard control warrior decks. It really just depends on like the metagame. Like any removal option depends on the metagame. Like if the targets for the removal card are bad, it's not going to see play. Like this is the first time ever we're seeing, for example, Ooze, which is like a weapon removal, see like competitive play in a ton of decks, just because it's all metagame dependent in the first place. So if there's a lot of aggressive decks, Bash could be really good. If not, it won't be.
I struggle to see seeing this be included as a 2 of.
Yeah, it'll probably never be a 2-0.
Yeah, so because that's just too weak. I mean, it is kind of strictly. I mean, you're talking about weapon removal. Obviously, there's that. This obviously gives you health rather than losing health, but it's only a 1 of. It's obviously strict. I mean, it's not strictly worse, but it's pretty much worse than Shield Block Shield Slam. But that's a combo. You don't always get it. For instance, like on turn 3, this is better than Armor Up Shield Slam, kinda. It's okay. It's okay. I'm calling it Meh Plus. What do you guys think?
I think it's on like the bad side of good, if that makes any sense.
Bad side of good. So you're saying I'm saying Meh Plus. You're saying good minus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm between, I guess, meh and good too. Meh at worst.
All right. Next card, Bolster, is next warrior card. 2 mana, give your taunt minions +2/+2. So this goes along with the warrior taunt thing, and it's kind of like Mark of the Wild, but for everything, but only for taunts. So it could be like if you manage to get the combo off, it's one of those things. It's one of those things I envision on like a Trollden video, like 3 months down the road, where it's like, really, you ran Bolster? Like, are you serious right now? Kind of thing. Where I don't think it's just too impossible to get off. But one day someone's just gonna like wreck someone with it. But yeah, I'm gonna say right now, because like Taunt Warrior isn't, it's just not viable enough. Yeah. Even with the new cards, even with the new cards that Warrior got with regard to Warrior, I think this card is like meh. And like meh minus, maybe bad plus. What do you guys think?
I think it's bad.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. Like for a situational +2/+2, like come on, it's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, I could only see it really comboing with maybe Armorsmith or Acolyte Pain on turn 4 with the sparring partner, right? You can give the sparring partner automatically comes in with taunt, and then can help taunt up another Acolyte Pain, then all of a sudden you have a 3/5, Acolyte and a 5/4 on turn 4. That's still like a 3-card expenditure, so I'm just not sure. And it's a very, very, I don't know, dependent combo to make work, so it's pretty tough to make it happen. But that's a pretty high impact play. That I don't know. It really depends, and like
no pun
you
intended.
need to kind of rush. No pun intended, and you just need to like. At that point, if you're doing something like that, it's kind of like you're sending a message to kind of rush your opponent down, which warrior archetypes at the moment aren't really doing that fast.
Well, are you rushing your opponent down if you're playing Taunt Warrior? I think it's like the opposite. Like, what if you put all the taunts in, and then just your opponent can't get by them, and then you go Bolster? Then, like, I don't know. I feel like if someone really, really tried, they could make like a tier 2 deck out of this.
Like a Bolster deck.
Yeah, they could. I don't think you could ever make a tier 1 deck, but like if someone like genius deck creator, Impact, I'm looking at you. No,
but, not
like,
for Bolster.
you don't taunt, right? I feel like if you really, really tried, you could make a deck around Bolster, and it could be like a tier 2 deck at best, maybe tier 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys saying bad. I'm gonna say meh minus or bad plus between there.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll say bad. I don't think it's garbage, but I will say bad.
All right, let's go. Next one. By the way, guys in chat, if you want to get our attention, just at us in the chat so we notice you, so that we know you're asking questions and not like talking to each other, just to make it easier for us. Anyway, there we go. Next one. How do you pronounce this? Orgrimmar aspirant?
Yeah, or Grimoire Aspirant is how I'd pronounce it.
All right.
I'm pronouncing it bad.
Pronouncing it. All right.
Pronouncing
So
it bad.
3 mana, 3/3 inspire. Give your weapon +1 attack.
Arena card.
Yeah. Let's start with Joey, I guess.
Alright.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's an arena card. The body itself is kind of underwhelming. If it was adding like durability or something, maybe it would be better. But if it's just adding attack, I
Yeah.
don't think it's all that good. There are very few situations in which you want more attack or something like that for a Fiery War Axe or for like a Death Spite or anything like that. So it's just underwhelming. They're just better cards to put in current Control Warrior archetypes. But who knows? Maybe some guy makes some sort of crazy Weapon Warrior and having this thing on the board. But if you're making a Weapon Warrior, you're probably playing cards a lot faster than you're armoring up. It's just everything's kind of counteractive.
It's like,
So
it's like
Yeah.
five
Doesn't really have a
5
theme.
mana,
Yeah.
5 mana 3/3, and then you get into armor, and then you have like 4 attack on your Fire War Axe. Like,
yeah,
sure. Like maybe
Like, what
maybe.
are you doing with your life?
yeah, it feels like an upgrade or even just the durability. I think.
Yeah,
Then
the
maybe it'd
durability would be
considered
better because like maybe you get like you find a way to stealth it somehow. I don't know. Like I don't know how you'd stealth it, but you find a way, and then you just armor up every single turn, and then you have like a 10 attack weapon, and then you get oozed, and I don't know. Well, okay, I guess we're saying bad. I'm gonna say bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad as well. But it'll be good in arena. It's got a great body. 3/3 for 3 is never bad. And hey, a little bit of a benefit if you happen to armor up, which you don't even want to do in arena because you're not impacting the board.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go with bad as well, yeah. It's just not a good card.
All right. Alex Strauss's champion. This is an interesting card. Slightly divisive, I think. It's a 2 mana 2/3 and battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, gain +1 attack and charge.
I'll start with this one.
All right, go
That's
ahead.
okay with you.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
this card's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, where else are you getting a 3/3 for charge? And like the battle, like if you get the battle cry off, you're in a great position. You're killing almost every 2-drop. At the worst, you're trading for a Knife Juggler. At the best, you're like killing a scientist and proccing the trap, or you can use it to proc the trap as just a charge. It's going to be like a very good early game control card, especially because Dragon got a lot more support in the last expansion. So I'm gonna go with very good card.
very good. Not OPOP.
I mean, OPOP, like I'm thinking would be like for like the bombs, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw Lock Shadow. He's like one of the biggest proponents or one of just the biggest dragon deck builders in our community today. And he's thinking about experimenting with Alex Johnson too. It kind of functions similarly to Fiery War Axe, right? Except that it's a minion, so it has slightly more flexibility. And usually we'll trade 2 for 1 with things, which is what Fiery War Axe does anyway. Except that you're not going to be losing health. And there's a good likelihood that you'll probably have a dragon in hand if you're running like, I don't know, what's a standard dragon warrior list like an Alex Shaw. I mean standard dragon count in a dragon warrior list is it like?
Well, it's probably gonna go up these. After
Yeah, it's probably gonna go up to like 6 or 7.
6 or 7. There's a lot more cards, yeah. So there's a good chance you can have one by the time Alex draws it. And at worst, it's a vanilla 2/3, which is like River Crocolisk or something. But it's a battle cry, or its upside is just too high that it's gonna look pretty good. Lock Shadow was saying he may want to substitute a Fiery War Axe out with it to begin with. I'm not sure if it should be included alongside 2 Fiery War Axes or if it should be a strict substitute yet. But yeah, I think it is going to be a good card.
I'm a bit torn on this one. And whoa, impact your webcam.
I don't know what happened. One sec.
All right. Okay, so the reason why I'm torn on this. Well, first of all, the reason why I said it was kind of divisive is because I think so. Stripethrower rate is pretty high, and I think Trump rated this like not that greatest. I don't know. I haven't seen every single review out there, but the problem I have with this card is like a few things. First of all, charge minions. They're like obviously 2 mana 3/3 charge is like ridiculous, right? That's like an amazing card. But
Yeah.
you're typically playing control as warrior. There's right now there's only a control on the combo deck. I don't like, and if you're playing dragons, obviously even if you tried to make an aggro deck using this, you really couldn't. And
You can make like a tempo based deck, right? Like
Yeah,
you've
that's
got
true.
a good 2, you've got a good 3 with the Blackwing Corruptor.
Yeah,
You got a
that's,
good 4 with the Twilight Dragon.
yeah. That's the biggest argument I can see for this card being really good is the being able to tempo people out with it and having kind of like a mid-range warrior, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But the problem is like the problem I have with the charge is that charge is either good with you want lopsided stats,
Mhm.
right? You want either a lot of attack to just get the damage and just kill your opponent, or you want a lot of health so that you can do really really nice trades, right?
Yeah.
Like Doomguard's super good because you could just like trade and then you have this body still, and then like you still have to have effort to kill it.
Yeah.
Or like Warfighter just kill stuff, or like Arcane Golem you just kill stuff. It's like one or the other. When it's like 3/3, what are you really doing? You're attacking for 3, it's good. And then like the 3 health is okay, but you're not really going to survive much, really. And like what are you trading into that you're surviving against? So
Well, like leper gnomes, mad scientists.
yeah,
Yeah,
so-
anything that's not knife juggler.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. So that's the problem I have with it. I don't think it's I don't think it could ever unless unless you really make this you know super tempo deck that just like such good synergy with each other, where you have like 2-drop Alex as Champion, 3-drop Blackwing Technician, 4-drop the 3/6 Taunt Dragon guy, and then you just keep going and going, and then you have this is like the impetus that helps you get that first start. That could
Mhm.
happen, but by itself, I don't know what exactly it's accomplishing really. And if you're killing something with like 3 health, you could just kill it with a Fire War Axe. And a lot of times this guy die. I mean, I guess you could kill 2/3 with this guy and still survive. But like if it's a 3/2, like Fire War Axe is just as good, and you have another charge, and this guy dies.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm pretty basically torn on it. Then again, I've heard like you guys say it's really good. I've heard like really smart people say it's really good. So that's why I want to say like good minus or like meh plus, but then everyone says it's good. So I don't know. It's hard for me too.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
one thing that Warrior struggles with a lot too are like bubbles and stuff. So Alex Strauss's champion can definitely help with like
Yeah,
mid range
divine
valleys, for
shields,
example. Yeah, divine shields. Bubbles, I mean, by bubbles I mean divine shields for
Yeah,
those
yeah,
of you in
yeah,
the audience
I-
that don't understand.
Yeah, this could. Well, the thing is, even if you run this in the Shield of Minibot, then you get much more battle the next turn. So it's like, is it that great? So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with my guns. I'm not gonna conform to peer pressure. I'm gonna give it a good minus.
Okay.
All right. So you guys say good.
I think it is likely to see some play. I don't know if it'll get phased out eventually, just because it's a little bit clunky, or because Fiery Wax is just good enough of a response. But hey, we were talking about King's Defender as a potential like tertiary option instead of the 2 Fiery Waxes on their own. Then maybe this card could be kind of like that as well.
All right. So we got a question. What would you cut for this card? I think you just make an entirely new deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you like make Control Warrior and just like, oh, let's take out Armor Smith. Like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Next is Sparring Partner, and this is the one we were referring to earlier. Pretty interesting. So 2 mana 3/2, which is standard 2 mana
Mhm.
stats. Taunt, Battlecry, give a minion taunt. So it's like all the taunts. It's like a Sun Fury Protector, but it also has taunt. I heard you like taunt, so I put taunt in your taunt. Anyway, go ahead. Let's go with Impact first.
I don't know. Like the thing is, like if you wanted to play a card that gave one of your minions taunt, you'd play Sun Fury Protector, and like I don't really see you pairing this card with Black Knight. Like unless like there's already a ton of taunt already in the meta, and like Black Knight's gonna get value anyway. Like I don't see playing this card just to make your Black Knight better. Like, and you don't really see Sun Fury Protector and Warrior, so I'm not really sure where to put this card. I don't think it's that good, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, Taunt Warrior is just an archetype that's hard to envision because they already work with a high life total. Contrast that to Warlock, where they're always tapping and stuff, and they need to protect their life total either via minion or by heal. So Sparring Partner just kind of at the moment just kind of seems a little bit strange. Sun Fury Protector also, yeah, kind of solves that problem a little bit better. You don't have this weak minion that you're giving taunt to. I'm talking about sparring partner.
Yeah.
You're giving it to two strong minions, right? Which is typically what Handlock would do. But hey, if you want to do some crazy synergistic thing like pair sparring partner with Black Knight, as Impact mentioned earlier, then that's something I suppose you could do. People do abusive in VGH. That's actually what I was doing with my own Handlock deck because honestly, I run two BGHs in it, so I needed to make sure that the other one could at least potentially get value. So,
Yeah.
but there's a lot. It's a lot of card slots to do that kind of stuff, and you also have to hope to draw it, which is a little bit harder in Warrior or anything that's not Warlock because you don't have that built-in card draw engine.
Yeah.
I think it's possible to have this in Warrior without making a taunt deck.
Or it's just like a 2-mana 3/2 that gives your guy a taunt.
Give it to Ysera or something.
yeah, like a one of, and and I mean obviously there's like you can make like a crazy deck with Sparring Partner and Bolster, but what I'm referring to is like for instance, sometimes you get in trouble as Warrior when your only taunts are Sludge Belcher, and then
you're getting rushed down.
Yeah, you're getting rushed down. Like maybe like Midrange Hunter. Midrange Hunter can kind of punish that, and you're sitting there. You're like, oh guys, he's survived, and you're like, Shield Maiden. Hopefully this works. And then like, and you always have these big minions, and also like you always have like 6-mana minions. You have like 3 6-mana minions in your hand. You're like, okay, do I play Sylvanas? Do I play Shield Maiden? And then you can play this long with it. And it's pretty strong, and also it's like multifaceted. You can use it early game against like a rushdown deck. Like okay, it's a taunt by itself. Right?
Yeah.
And then you can also give something else on. Whereas Sun Fury Protector, it's like it trades well. That's like why you would play Sun Fury early. It's like I can trade my 2/3 and tier 2/1. Whereas this is kind of like it actually just stops things. Like people have to like run into it. So I think it's multifaceted in that sense. Obviously, being 3/2, you kind of prefer it be a 2/3. But in the late game, if you're taunting something big, decks aren't gonna have trouble doing that extra 1 damage to get through it anyway. So. And if you're playing like a Warrior, you can't really Sun Fury 2 minions anyway. You're only gonna be able to Sun Fury like 1 minion. So I think this guy has maybe a place. And also this is the first time that you can have like a Black Knight combo outside of Druid.
Yeah.
And Druid, like you use a card, like you have to use. It's basically you're not actually even getting a body on the field. So this is actually more efficient.
Yeah,
so I think
you're getting like
a 3/2,
a 3/2, and
a
spot
4/5.
removal. Yeah, and spot removal for 8 mana, which is like pretty good.
So I
kind
think
of like I'm sorry, yeah, it's kind of like the Shrinkmeister Cabal combo. It seems like it's a little bit I don't know, cumbersome to do, but if you do pull it off, you still get that 3/2, you still get that 4/5 in addition to whatever you steal, right? So it just ends up being like a super huge value play, and Sparring Partner and Black Knight just a little bit better than Mark of the Wild Black Knight, which doesn't actually impact the board. The Mark of the Wild, I'm saying.
Yeah, so I mean, I think especially if you get like the super crazy control warrior where they just like don't freaking die and they have like Varian Rin in their deck, and then you can eventually just almost guaranteed draw Sparring Partner and Black Knight and just wreck other control decks. I think that might be a thing. Anyway, we've gone about this long enough. All right, let's go next card. Magnetar Alpha. It's 4 mana, 5/3. Also damages the minions next to him. Oh, do we say the Sparring Partner? Sorry, one second. Sparring Partner. I want to say it's I'll say good minus. Maybe good. I'll say good. What do you guys think?
I will say meh on that one. I'm just not really sure if it just justifies a card spot, but who knows like what kind of new archetypes can come up with. But as far as like current decks, I'm just not sure if anyone would try anything with it at this point.
I think people might put a 1 of it anyway in it, but like yeah. Anyway, impact.
Yeah, I'll say meh plus because you can taunt up Sylvanas. That's always good.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Magnetar Alpha. Also, I mean, the reason why I went back is because I looked at this card and I was like, well, that's bad / maybe bad minus garbage plus. Magnetar Alpha also damages the minions next to Homer text, so he's like the Foe Reaper but with no health. Yeah. All right. Joey.
Yeah, he's a kind of again, like I talk about these high attack, low health cards as like glass cannons, right? Obviously, if he can pull off the I guess combo as intended, then he's going to get a ton of value, right? He's dealing 15 damage for 4 mana, but there's a high likelihood that probably doesn't happen. He probably gets traded for with a lower cost minion, so you're already going to be in some mana debt by playing him if he is responded to appropriately, which most likely he will. Like he dies to Dark Bomb, so
Dice
it's
to
just
every
like-
2 mana removal in the game.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got to find some crazy way to protect him. I don't know if you can get like Master of Disguise out on him or something like that. I'm not sure.
in
But-
Warrior. In Warrior, right?
Warrior.
Yeah, in Warrior exactly. So
Hey,
I don't.
maybe we give a taunt with the sparring partner.
Yeah, if you were, oh yeah, if you were like 3-5 or something, he could be pretty crazy. But that might just be OP.
Yeah.
Garbage plus. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Won't even
just-
pick it in arena.
Yeah, won't even pick an arena. Yeah, so I guess it just actually is just garbage because even in arena it's just bad. It just trades so horribly. So
Yeah.
you're never gonna get attack off with it, and even if you do, it's like you have. I can't even imagine what are the scenarios in which your opponent can't deal with it, but they have like 3 minions on board that you're gonna like. How is that possible?
Yeah.
It's just like.
Yeah, it's very tough to see. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened in this card design necessarily, but
I think they let a junior designer like design the card, like, "Hey guys, I got one," and they're just like, "Okay, fine."
all right, we'll put it in the sets.
All right.
Put it as an epic so no one has to pick it in arena.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Well, it's either that or Hungry Crab, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Or
I might pick that one over Hungry Crab. I don't know, man. One,
I
two
don't
though.
know. I'm
Yeah,
taking
you
the
got-
1-2 man.
One,
Gonna
two,
give it
one.
time.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
it's steal
next-
that Bluegill Warrior that someone plays on too.
exactly.
Alright,
All right.
we
Next we
gotta
got
have
the
a
Sea
shredder.
Reaver. The Sea Reaver, 6 mana or 6/7. When you draw this, deal 1 damage to your minions.
Strictly worse than Boulder Fist Ogre, which
Well-
doesn't see play.
Well, I mean, the whole point obviously is that you're supposed to.
No, I know the point, but like when you draw you can't control the effect because it's like when you draw the card, like what if you have no minions at play?
Or just kills all your guys. You're like, dang it.
Yeah, like god damn it! All my guys were at 1 health because of whirlwinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess we lose now.
Yeah, I haven't seen many reviews on this because I haven't seen many people. I mean, most people haven't really talked about this, but every time I try to think of it, like, how can you even use this card? So yeah, what do you think, Joey?
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I mean, the body's underwhelming. It is like Boulder Fist Ogre. You can't control the effect. You don't know when you're going to draw it. So, obviously, whirlwinds aren't just thrown out there at random when it's in your hand, right? So, I just don't. I just don't think it's very good unless you have this like crazy board and then you want to cycle a lot. But then if you cycle a lot, you'll probably be able to play whirlwinds anyway. So, I mean, it is another whirlwind effect, but it's I don't know.
Yeah, for your minions, like it accomplishes nothing for you gaining board position.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's literally-
a lot of times Whirlwind helps you because it does 2 things. It hurts your minions, which is usually good for you, but it also starts killing their minions, which is good for you as well. So
Mhm.
Yeah, like
it's like a your side Whirlwind. Oh god.
Yeah.
it's like let's kill our own
On the other
board.
hand, it does have a kind of an okay body, so I'm just gonna give it a bad. I'm not gonna give it a garbage.
Yeah, I could maybe pick this in arena if I don't have any 6-drops.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a bad plus. Can you give it a
No.
bad plus? Maybe no.
Not even today.
No.
I'm generous
even a-
today.
All right.
Generous.
Yeah, I think bad is an appropriate label for a Sea Reaver.
All right, here we go. Varian Rin. We
All
made
right,
it, guys.
great.
We made it. And I'm just
Praise
gonna go
for you,
in.
Jesus.
We're gonna give an OPOP right off the bat. Our first OPOP, right?
Thanks for getting us.
Impact. I was talking to you about this card for a little bit. How about you give us your opinions on it?
This card is just like the best card in the set, I'm pretty sure. It's just like you get so much value. Like if you flip over a big minion, you're getting like an additional 7 or 8 mana into play for free. So then like say like you flip over an Alex draws and you don't get the battle cry, for example, right? You get to draw 2 cards and you get like 15 in stats for 10 mana. Like that's absolutely insane. It's like it's the best late game card in the entire game by far. So if you're gonna have to change the way your warrior deck is like made to make it so that you get to 10 mana against like these kind of decks, but like once you get to 10 mana like and you get to play this card, like you're really getting rewarded for what you're trying to do. So
Well, that's what Control Warrior does, right? They get to 10.
yeah.
So, and then once you get, and a lot of times, I heard Sharko talking about this for a little bit too. Like once you get to 10 mana, sometimes you just die anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're playing against Druid, you just die. Because they just keep like luring you, and they keep, they just like put more pressure on you, and you can only do one thing at a time. This guy does so many things at a time. He does all the things at one time, and so like sometimes, like even against mid-range hunter, sometimes you're like about to die, or I mean, obviously this guy doesn't help you like live that much longer, but if you could just get this guy at one turn, stuff like playing at Zoo, for instance, like with all those, with the current Demon Zoo, which is like ridiculous, and that gets, board full of like ridiculous guys.
Yeah, you could flip over like a Sludge Belcher and an Armor Smith, maybe. Who knows?
Sludge Belcher double Armor Smith.
Yeah, get him.
All right.
Take that for 10 mana.
So that's the thing. Like I think Control Warrior like doesn't have that much problem getting 10 mana, honestly. So and then putting this in is just pretty ridiculous. All right. So let's get Joey's opinion.
Yeah, just so much opportunity to mana cheat, which has been kind of just a staple of our meta today. You see druids and stuff with their innervates and wild growths, and you see void callers, and that's why Demon Zoo has just all of a sudden become strong. Even Demon Handlock has become a lot stronger just because of its ability to keep up with mana cheaters, and this is what Varian Rin enables Warrior to do, right? Warrior has not really had the ability to mana cheat, even though they're like probably one of the most efficient classes card for card in the game. So it's really crazy to get it out. There's a slight risk for overextension to maybe some light bombs and stuff like that if you play Varian Rin. But all in all, it's still just really good. You're cheating mana. At worst, it's going to be like a really expensive Ancient of Lore. And yeah, you're most likely going to draw bombs because all of your early game stuff, you most likely play like the Armor Smiths and the Acolytes and the Cruel Taskmasters.
You
if you're thinking about
those
control.
cards, yeah, exactly. So, like you throw away all your cards to get those early cards. So
yeah.
I feel like these cards are, or this card is best against something like mid range, and it's kind of like you said. If you play against control, sometimes control has the ability to kind of like ruin your day with with like brawl or light bomb or something like that. So
yeah,
it could kind of ruin your day if you're playing against that. But you are drawing those cards in the first place, so it's only like really a consideration if you're going like fatigue, which I guess is possible. I guess my question for you guys is. Control Warrior, I mean, it's been kind of... People are kind of playing right now because it's good against Patron. It's good against like Hunter and stuff like that, but... Could this make Control Warrior like actually a really good deck, or is it just kind of... It just helps it out a bit?
I think it's like the strongest late game card in the entire game, so... if you can make Control Warrior get to the late game in a meta that's like really aggressive or like really mid-rangey with like lots of Druid and stuff, and you're still able to flip over the card, like we're not really like talking about how like impactful the card is. Like when you play Varian Rin and you flip over a bomb, you're gonna win the game. Or when you're drawing 3 cards and you're getting a 7/7, like that's like the worst case scenario is you're just drawing 3 cards and you're not flipping over any bombs, which is like good enough to like win the game usually. Like, I think that it's so good that if you get to 10 mana and you can play this card, you will win the game. Like,
yeah, I especially like it because when you're in Control Warrior, a lot of times you'll find yourself running out of cards. The card draw mechanic is so limited. If you get an Acolyte, a Pain Silence, or something like that, all you have otherwise are like 2 shield blocks and maybe another Acolyte, which you may not even just be able to cycle for 1 or something like that. So Varian helps a lot. A lot of Control Warriors really just refill their hand using like Harrison or something like that, but Varian enables them. I mean, you're not necessarily refilling your hand if you're playing these minions on the field, but you'd rather not spend the mana, having these cards in your hand. You'd rather just have them out there being an immediate threat. So,
all right. So before we get to the Warlock cards, I have an update. I finished the Suntory beer. We are now on to the Asahi beer, and it was Suntory's good. I think I kind of like Asahi as well. But all right, let's move on. So
I'll quickly grab something. Okay, 1 second.
All right.
You guys can start though.
All right. There's a. We don't really need impacts up on this. I don't think. It's Demon Infuse. It's 2 mana. Give it Demon +3/+3. Give your opponent a mana crystal. I don't know. Joey? Did you see when Trump was the video where Trump makes fun of this card?
I did not know. I missed that. I haven't watched too many TGT card reviews, to be honest. So
it was on Reddit, and then someone took a clip of Trump when he was he was kind of in between something. I don't know when it was, but he's like, let's make this card better, and
Yeah.
then he goes. He starts like crossing out stuff and like writing in stuff in the card. It's like, give your opponent 3 mana crystals, because it's like he just hates the card so much.
Yeah, so he totally pooped on it, I guess.
Yeah,
Which card is this, sorry?
Demon Fuse. So give it demon +3/+3. Give your opponent a mana crystal.
Might as well give him 3 mana crystals. Fine.
Can we go garbage on this one, or are we going bad, or what's going on here?
I mean, if Rampage is not a good card, and even in Arena for like Warrior, I guess it's okay in Arena. But if it's not a good card, it's at best a bad, maybe more accurately garbage. But yeah, you never want to give your opponent an extra mana crystal, especially like in Arena, especially just constructed in general. So to get that slight tempo gain that can be silenced off is just not worth the risk usually. So I'm not a fan of it.
Let's just try to imagine a situation this maybe works. Turn one,
you buff up your Wrathguard, okay? You buff up your Wrathguard to 7/6, and then it gets BGH'd on curve.
No, but like maybe this card, like kind of like an Arcane Golem. Sometimes people they play like Aggro Paladin, like, well, I guess I'm playing Arcane Golem turn 3 because I have no other play to make, and sometimes it's good because the opponent just can't deal with it, right? Maybe this might win games, but I don't think like you'd have to be playing the most aggro of decks, and then you
decks,
and then in that case, what do you think? Maybe like you play Flame Up on turn 1. You have
it really depends on how strong.
Like say you're playing against a druid. Think you're playing against a druid, and you have you're playing like a super fast zoo. You flame him turn 1, and then you make into a 6/5 on turn 2, and then druid doesn't have silence until turn 4, and then you just whack him for 6 a turn, and then he's
but if they have the coin though, you give them an extra mana, and they're going to 3 mana. I can coin the 4.
Oh yeah, true. But then they don't have it. You cross your fingers.
But then they just don't have it, and then you win.
Yeah, if they don't have it, you'd probably be better off playing like just another 2-drop or something like a juggler, and if they can't can't deal with that.
If they can't keeper my juggler, like I'm gonna win anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the cross your fingers card, and you might as well just play other minions.
Yeah, and you're giving him extra mana, which gets him closer to like the Force of Natures, gets him closer to those taunts. If you're doing a 6/5 on like a 4/6 or something, then I suppose you can Wrath.
Yeah.
Off the remainder.
By the way, I gotta play Devil's Advocate on like all these cards because I was included in that one video about how all the pros were wrong about Grim Patron. So you gotta.
Well, okay, but they were wrong about it before Emperor came out, right? I guess were they still saying that Grim Patron was going to be bad even after Emperor had been revealed? Because Emperor was revealed really late, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well,
I guess people are doing.
There's a video online. I can show you guys later.
Did you call it like hot garbage we'll never see play or something?
I don't know. It was. Oh, I mean, actually, it was actually nice to be in the video because it was my review, and I did it with Cholden and Farmir, and then the other reviewers were like Kalento, Firebat, like all the best players, right? So I was like, all right, I'm fine being wrong with them. So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just I just said my quote from the clip was like, I don't really like it, and then everyone else was like, yeah, this is not going to see play because you have to build everything around it. But anyway.
Yeah. So much for that.
Yep.
Grim Patron will never see play.
Alright, next one. Fearsome Doomguard. Bane of Doom buff, right?
Yeah, it's just another Bane of Doom guy. Like you're not gonna play it itself as a 7/8. Like you're not gonna play it even in a demon deck as a 7/8 because there's just better demons to play.
6/8. 6/8 is better than 7/8.
Yeah, 6/8 for 7. Like it's not good for the stats. Like stats for mana either. So like when you play it, it's just gonna be off the Bane of Doom, right? So
I mean, you could play Void Caller, I suppose.
Yeah, that's where I kind of differ on that, because I'm playing 2 Dread Infernals right now in my Demon Handlock, so it's like, well, I'm just kind of at a... Like, I was even playing Illidan in my Handlock because, like, I actually think the demon selection, or the demon pool to select from is actually kind of lacking, so, like, I guess people like Doomguard and stuff like that, but I hate playing Doomguard from hand, so... Fearsome
I,
Doomguard might be difficult to play from hand, but I
yeah.
think it's actually okay. As
I
a
just
like,
never, yeah. I just never see myself paying 7 mana for it, and then like when I want a minion off a Void Caller, I want it to either be like Mal'Ganis, Jiraxis, or I like Doomguard personally because like gives you flexibility with trading and Shadow Flame and stuff. So
uh-huh.
yeah,
But this one's a fearsome Doomguard.
yeah, but he doesn't have Fearsome Charge though.
Not as fearsome.
No, even close.
I mean, the thing about these kinds of cards is, there's also the 5/9 beast that's going to come up later, and it's just like these stat and mana combinations just don't exist yet, which is kind of like it's just kind of nice to see, new things coming out like that, and yeah, definitely Bane of Doom, buff a little bit, and a little bit of Void Color buff as well. If you can, maybe you throw those in your cards, like.
Yeah.
And if you play this for 7 mana 6/8, it's fine,
Yeah, it's like the way that the game pans out. Like if you play it as a 6 mana 7/8, like it's probably gonna stick. But it's just like, do you want it in your deck in the first place? Is the question.
I mean, like if you put a Void Call in your deck, and like the worst case scenario is you just play as 7 mana 6/8. Like if that's your worst case scenario, it's like not that bad,
Yeah, and I think Emperor also resolves a lot of clunkiness, right? So if you don't get Jiraxis or Mal'Ganis and you want them out as minions from Void Caller, you also have an alternate route, right, to play these cards when you play Emperor, right? Because it's way better to play those legendaries with 8 mana because you can hero power at the same time. So that's kind of like what Emperor does for clunky demons as well for me. So that's kind of why I think Fearsome Doomguard. I don't think it's good. I think at best it's meh plus. I may even fall into meh, but I am willing to experiment with it in place of a second Dread Infernal. Because right now I'm running 2 Dread Infernals.
Okay.
So
yeah, so you're saying it fills a niche that otherwise wouldn't be filled potentially.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Right, well, yeah, I'll go with meh as well. I mean, it's just like it looks decent, but other cards are better for the most part.
Yeah, and that's what people say too about like, why aren't you running Sylvanas or why aren't you running Doctor? Like, I'm running neither Sylvanas or Doctor Boom in my deck that got rank 1. It's solely because of the demon tag and the ability to mana cheat. Those other cards, yeah, they're better on paper, but they're hard to play from hand sometimes. And this is the
you have to spend
tag
mana to play the cards, right?
Yeah.
No matter how good the card is, yeah.
That humble brag though from Joy. When I got rank 1.
I got rank 1 legend. Yeah.
That's humble brag. I'm sorry.
Or just
I got Innkeeper rank 1.
Alright, here we go. Next one, Wrathguard, 2 mana 4/3. Whenever this minion takes damage, also do that amount to your hero. I want to hear your guys' opinion on this first, and I'll go last. I'll start with Joey, I suppose.
Wrathguard. So everyone's Twitch chat dreams can be fulfilled when you can shield slam Wrathguard lethal on face with 30 armor. It's like shield slam face, and you can do it. So I mean, the stats are kind of interesting. Again, 4/3 is kind of underwhelming because it trades down, or like other things can trade up with it, right? So I think if it was like a 3/4, it would be good, but I don't like it too much as a 4/3. It's still pretty easily removed, but at least it's not discarding a card like Succubus, so it might be something that someone's interested in.
I'll be that person who's interested in it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm interested too. I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
I play aggro decks, right? So like I play a lot of aggro decks. So like this is like my wet dream basically is just being able to play a 4/3 on turn 2 and start killing them. Like it's just like, imagine the curve. Like you start Flame Imp into this, and then like on turn 3 you're dealing 7, and then like you're playing like an Imp Gang boss or something, and then like you're killing them in like 2 or 3 turns after playing like this into Flame Imp, or like Flame Imp into this, And then like if you're rushing them down with such like high attack creatures and they're not able to deal with them in the early turns, like you're gonna win, right? So
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like I think a lot of people have been kind of dumping this card, and I definitely can rely on impact to hype up a rush down card, and I just think it's a pretty good card. I mean, it's a lot of risk involved, but every aggro card has a lot of risk. That's like Every
Yeah, because you're playing inherently worse cards
like, would
to
you
have
rather
like a fast strategy.
exactly? Would you rather play Arcane Golem and give your opponent 1 mana and make it easier for them to come back, or play Wrathguard, which he may you know shield block, armor, shield slam for 6 mana and then deal 7 damage to you? Like, I don't like what's the point? Or I don't see the problem.
Yeah,
And if your opponent gets like double molten taunt up and you have to like run this guy and take 8 damage, like you're probably gonna die at that point anyway. I mean,
yeah. Like if you're at the point where you have to fight through the 8/8s that are taunted up, you're probably gonna lose anyway. Like you just kind of hope that they don't have them.
yeah. It just feel like
So,
it's basically like it's like a flame imp most of the time.
yeah,
Most
it's
of the-
exactly it's
most of the
exactly
time-
flame it.
Most
Yeah.
of the time, it's 2 mana 4/3 deal 3 damage to your hero. Eventually. So
Yeah.
Okay. I like that perspective on it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very strong. Like one of the most fearsome starts that I have from zoos is that they start off with the high power minions first, like the Flame Imp into Juggler, or Flame Imp
Yeah.
into Direwolf Alpha. Like I don't fear so much like the Void Walker into Nerubian Egg, into Imp Gang Boss, because like, okay, you're actually not really putting power on the board right now. So even if you're
Yeah.
getting all this unclearable, resilient board, or just getting a high value board, it's all packed
Yeah,
with potential, and it's not getting immediate value. So like when
Yeah.
people do like the Flame Imp into Wrathguard, or like Coin Juggler into Wrathguard, or stuff like that, and I don't have that Hellfire in my hand, I'm gonna be freaking out, and so, and especially if you play that,
you're gonna be dead.
yeah, you're gonna be pretty dead. And even if I have that Hellfire, if you start off with like the high damaging cards first, and then you plant down that Nerubian Egg on turn 3, or you put down that Imp Gang Boss, which isn't readily clearable, then all of a sudden you
Yeah.
still have that initiative. You can still Argus on turn 4, and I'm
Well-
still in a bad position, and you've done a lot of damage.
well,
So
the whole point is that this costs 2 mana.
yeah,
It's like it's not 3 mana, which is so huge. It's 2 mana 4/3. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but just by the way, guys, if you guys didn't know, Hellfire costs 4, so
Yeah.
you can't.
So they're
wrap-
they're
you
gonna
can't-
take 8 from it.
Yeah, they're gonna be taking a lot of damage from Wrathguard. Although on the backswing, Hellfire does do 6 damage to your opponent. To your, So-
which zoos aren't really concerned about at that point in the game. Like
Exactly.
live total is totally like their last concern. It's all about board presence and stuff like that.
Yeah.
all right, so let's go on to the next one.
So what did we rate this card, by the way? Did we say good? Did we say OPOP or what?
I think it's gonna be in every zoo deck, so I'm gonna go with OPOP.
OPOP.
I'll
Yeah,
go with good
Good.
plus.
good plus. Yeah, and it's funny how when we first started discussing this card, I talked about it as maybe better as a 3/4 because I have very high control instincts. So, and it's probably
Yeah,
not.
you're not trading with this. I mean,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going straight to the face.
Straight to the
I'm,
jail.
I'm trading a 30 down to 26. So.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, if it were a 3/4, you're taking more damage than your hero, right? So,
That's true.
and then like you just let them trade because you just keep going face, and then they kill it, and then you're gonna take, like 5 at most, I guess.
Yeah. It's still like an investment to kill it. Like they have to play a creature and then trade, and then like they're taking 8 probably from it.
Yeah.
Even if you like, what if you play like a deck with like Dark Bomb and like you can actually just like Dark Bomb the creature and keep your guy in play? Like imagine how much better this card is going to be when it's getting an 8 or 12. Like that's insane from a 2-drop getting in 12 damage. Like that's nuts.
Yeah. All right,
It's
so
like Juggler on crack.
let's move to the next card. This is weird. It's kind of a weird card, and it's kind of a card that we need to like, kind of look at some of the other cards. Or there's like
Okay.
another card that fits with it, sort of. And it's Tiny Knight of Evil. 2 mana 3/2. Whenever you discard a card, gain +1/+1. I'm just confused about this. I'm tending to think that it's not good. But I guess we'll go with Joey first.
Yeah, so again, I can only see this inclusion in a zoo deck, which I'm not like the most experienced in, but
Yeah.
you never want to like just discard cards randomly. I don't think. I mean, so unless you're gaining like a ton of tempo out of it, it's just. I mean, I don't know if you want to try to build like some sort of discard deck or anything like that. But there just aren't enough discard mechanics. I guess I don't know if you coin that out with like a succubus or something. All of a sudden you got like 2/4/3s, but I don't know. It just I really don't understand or I don't know if this card is gonna really see play. It just seems like you have to tailor your deck too much around it to make it even effective. But at worst, it's a vanilla 3/2.
I don't think it'll see play like right now, but there's always potential for like a feature set release to like buff this mechanic up a bit more. Like they released cards in past expansions that are just now gonna probably see play. So like I can see in the future like this and like Fist of Jirax is getting buffed by like a discard card in the future that's like really really powerful or something, like some insane battle cry that's like discard your hand or something. Who knows?
Okay.
I mean, the problem with that argument is that it's just, even if you build a deck around that, it's not good enough. I feel like if you
Yeah, like
you
a
could,
powerful enough effect.
yeah, I feel like if you're gonna build a deck around this, it's like whenever you discard a card, gain +2/+2.
Yeah,
And
okay.
now we're talking. Now we're like, we can make something, because it's like if you're building a deck around, it's one thing to build a deck around certain things like pirates or beast
Yeah.
druid or whatever, where it's like, well, that's not enough. It's just not good enough. But no matter, even if this becomes really good, even if this becomes like a thing, building a deck around discarding cards. By the way, I heard this is
Yeah.
like a thing that exists in Magic, so which I've never played, so maybe you guys can comment on that. But if you're discarding the cards that you put in your deck to have synergy in the first place. So like, what if you discard a card that got synergy with discarding the cards? I mean but
Yeah.
you needed that card on the field in the first place. So
Yeah. The
like
problem with
now
the
you're kind of
problem with
screwed.
yeah. The problem with the discard mechanics in Hearthstone is it's random, so you can't really control it. So it's going to be like the inherent flaw with this theme,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that being a big problem.
Yeah, that's why I feel like you need something like this. Like some other cards, you can, like, the buffs are, reasonable, because it's like you don't want to make it too overpowered. But I feel like you need to make this overpowered because the downside is so great of discarding something good. So I would like to see +2/+2, and
Okay.
because of that, I'm gonna say bad right now. Bad
Yeah.
right now. It could get better, but bad right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it's bad. It's a vanilla 3/2 for Arena, so it can be seen in Arena. You probably don't plan on discarding cards.
Yeah, but-
Will you potentially... Can you overtap and have that count as a discarded card, or no?
I don't think so, no.
It's a burned card, right? It's not a discarded
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same
Yeah.
animation or anything. Okay. Okay, so yeah, just kind of a strange mechanic, and just not enough upside for its downside to make up for it.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and skip a couple cards just to get to the other discard mechanic cards.
Okay.
Let's go straight to Fist of Jiraxis.
Again, I think
so
this...
we can talk about that.
Yeah. I think this will be like a card that could potentially see play in the future, because if you are able to discard it, right, it is a pretty decent effect to get for 0 mana, but with no control over the cards that we're discarding, like right now at least, like maybe we get selective discards in the future or something, who knows? It might be good, but as of right now, I don't think it's very good.
The random part is what's kind of throwing me off a bit, because it's just not. What if your opponent has like 2 death rattles on the board? Like now it's just bad.
Yeah, or like the random enemy, right? Like it could go face and just be useless.
Yeah, I mean sometimes you want it to be face. That's the thing, though. Like I feel like this could be a useful card if you could just target it. But
Yeah, because at worst it'll be 4 mana, 4 damage, right?
yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah, exactly. If you play this out of hand, you just like fling it. Like, all right, I hope this works.
God bless.
Hits Nerubian Egg, like, no!
It's the
Oh
worst.
god! I increased my opponent's board. I didn't do anything. 4 mana,
Wait.
make my opponent's board stronger. Oh, the
What am I
anti-tempo.
doing with my life?
All right, so
Why did I draft this card?
so I guess we're calling this bad garbage.
Yeah. Garbage.
Garbage. I wouldn't even pick it in Arena over a different rare, unless like my other rare was Target Dummy, maybe. But even then, I don't know. I'd probably pick Target Dummy anyway.
Yeah.
I might get Voltron. Who knows?
Yeah, true. All right, we're gonna call this garbage for now. Could get better in the future, but right now garbage. All right, and along that same line, the card that maybe makes these cards slightly better, the ones we were just talking about, is Dark Bargain.
I think this
6 mana, destroy 2 random enemy minions. discard 2 random cards.
Yeah, this can do some nasty stuff to control decks who put out like big, just like slow slogging threats right at a time. So you taking away 2 random cards to destroy 2 random enemy minions. I think you can consider that worthwhile for the most part. So bad against death rattle decks or aggro decks, but I don't know where you would see this fitting impact. Would you put this in a control deck? Would you put this in a zoo deck? I don't know.
I'd put this in like more of an aggressive zoo deck that kind of just wants to empty its hand. Maybe something with like Worgen Infiltrator, just something that really just wants an empty hand to get the payoff of this card. Like this is a card that you build around, right? Like it's a 6 mana card, and destroying 2 random enemy minions like is potentially game-winning effect. So like especially if you don't have any cards in your hand, like so it's just you're paying 6 mana for the card. It could be really good in that sense, but it's something you'd have to build around.
When are you ever not going to have cards in your hand if you're playing this card? Is my question.
If you're playing like an aggressive deck,
why would you have this card in the aggressive deck? Just play minions. Go face. You don't need to destroy. Why would you need to destroy random enemy minions when you're going face anyway? Who cares?
It was like board control aggressive decks, right? Like you don't always need to just be pure base aggression, right?
I mean, like kind of, but like Zoo likes to turn on the aggression starting from like turn 6. You know,
yeah, but
they're trading, and then now it's time to go face.
Zoo either, right? We're not talking necessarily Zoo because like Zoo already has its own shell. Like this could be something else. Like this could be an effect worth like getting the payoff for. Is what I'm saying.
The other thing is like if you're playing against like control, for instance, when are they gonna ever have 2 bombs? If they have 2 bombs on the field, you're dead, right?
Well, it could be like a bomb and an armor smith or something, or like who knows, like.
I guess, but I feel like most of the time this card is destroy 1 bomb and discard 2 cards, and then you might as well play Siphon Soul.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I could see it potentially being good. It really depends on the metagame. Like if there are big threats that you want to pay 6 mana to destroy 2 like mid-range creatures, like 2 like a Druid of the Claw and like something, right? Like if you want to. If like you're trying to get the payoff right, the metagame has to be worth it in the first place, and then like your deck has to be built to support it. Because like the aggressive Zoo decks that played Doomguard in the past, right? The idea was to empty the hand to play Doomguard for free. It could be like the same idea of like empty their hand so that you could play this like awesome board wipe and like have like insane tempo or something. Like it really just depends on what you're trying to do in relation to the rest of the decks in the field.
Yep.
Obviously, right now, with everybody having like 4 Grim Patrons or like a bunch of Death Rattle minions, it's not going to be the greatest thing. But imagine a world where everybody's playing like Druid, and you get to play this card and destroy 2 creatures and have like a bunch of guys in play.
Alright, we have a comment from the Fisted Reactions part. Doomguard 5/7 dealing extra 4 random 4 damage is amazing. Can be 9 to face. You will see Fisted Reactions will be OP. What do you guys think about that one?
I mean, obviously. Synergy's there with Doomguard, but it's just like you have to play it in your deck.
You have to have it in your deck. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna be in a situation where it's like you have exactly Doomguard and Fisted Draxus left. It's like that's obviously the dream, but it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, what you need is like a demon that like Battlecry put that Fist of Draxus in your hand. Like you don't actually want it taking a card slot, but you need something that adds something like a spare part, right? Something that says, "Hey, add a Fist of Jiraxis," like Jiraxis' companion or something, like a demon with slightly underwhelming stats. I don't know, and then it puts that thing into your hand. Who knows?
All right, so next we have a Bane of Doom nerf, which is Void
Crusher. Oh no, Void Crusher.
Void Crusher. Judge Steed. Void Crusher. 6 mana. 5/4, inspire, destroy a random minion for each player. So he could just kill himself. You overpaid for a 5/4, then you just kill yourself. So,
well, if you're getting it off Bane of Doom, right? Like that's the intent of this card, right? It could potentially be good because like Zoo has a lot of like random floater minions, right? Like they have like Nerubian eggs, like 1/1 imps, Haunted Creeper, and the tokens. So like I see where they're coming from with this card coming off of Bane of Doom, but like you can't really build around a card coming off of a random card, and so
yeah.
In In the scenarios where you do get it off Bane of Doom, it'll be good.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. I was talking to my brother about this as potentially decently good in zoo. Not like aggro v aggro, but like aggro v control or something, right? Because the random minion that you're destroying is probably going to be high. It's like Joust, right? It's the lower likelihood that you destroy a valuable minion as opposed to like what they can have. So if you pull this from a Void Caller, if you decide to include this in your deck and you pull this from like a Void Caller or something, all of a sudden you could probably be destroying some giants just by tapping, right? And you're
Mm-hmm.
losing like a 1/1 imp, or even in best case scenario, you're losing a Nerubian egg, which is going to turn into a 4/4. So,
You're losing
um,
your Dread Steed.
yeah, losing a Dread Steed, which turns into another Dread Steed. So, I don't think it's poor in an aggressive deck. I don't think it's going to fit in any kind of control archetype stuff, especially since you're going to be dropping bombs. You don't want to lose your bombs for this. So,
I don't think it fits in anything. I think it's garbage.
you really think it's that bad?
It kills itself.
It could kill itself. It could
It kills itself sometimes.
It
but
costs
yeah.
6 mana. How you gonna, even with Void Color, that costs 4 mana in the first place. Like, how many minions are gonna have in the field if you have this in your deck?
Who knows?
But by the way, I'm not talking about like. I mean, I talked about Bane of Doom nerf and stuff like that. But let's just assume that we're not playing Bane of Doom. We're not relying on. Getting it
Okay,
from
so
that.
we're
It's just,
actually playing the card in our deck, meaning that we're playing Void Caller and the
yeah.
and,
So,
like,
so you
minions.
get Void. So like best case scenario, you get a Void Color.
Best
and
case,
then-
yeah. Best case
and then-
scenario,
and then
you get
you-
a Void Caller,
Best
and then
case
you
scenario, you have
life
Void
tap.
Color, and you have a bunch of stuff on the. You have to have a bunch of stuff on the field, or else you're just gonna kill yourself. You kill your own guy, which you
Yeah.
spent at least 4 mana for.
Yeah,
By the way, 4 mana 5/4 isn't that good. 4 mana 5/4s aren't being played. This
Yeah.
is a 6 mana 5/4. It costs
Yeah.
two. You cost 2 mana more to get a bad 4-drop that can kill itself.
yeah. But like,
it's really bad.
it's not good if you play it like in your deck. Like it would be good if you got it off Bane of Doom.
yeah,
is what I think.
but that's what I'm saying. You don't put it in your deck, so therefore it's garbage.
Yeah.
You're gonna- yeah.
All right, D2, I have to step away for about like 20 minutes or so, but you guys can continue the card review, and I'll return hopefully as soon as possible,
All right, cool. Can you leave your webcam on so that the
so that nothing shifts. Yeah. I
Alright,
can leave it
cool.
on.
All right.
And the chair,
Yeah, we can watch Joey's chair for a while.
chair hype.
Chair hype.
All right, so we can argue now about cards.
We should yell at each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next one, Dreadsteed. Were you trying to say that this was good?
I think it's gonna be good.
Really? How?
Okay, like you're investing 4 mana into a 1/1 minion, right? Like it's potentially one extra damage for the rest of the game. You have already so many cards that synergize with having a minion stick on the board. Like you have Void Terror, you have Power Overwhelming, you have Knife Juggler, which will proc when you trade with it, and like it'll obviously be good in those kind of scenarios. But I can see this card being potentially really good, especially if you get a Bane of Doom. But I wouldn't be like the most upset if this card came off of my my Void Collar, and then I was just able to use the additional 1 damage for the rest of the game. Like you can't like overrate, you can't like underrate this card just because it isn't that strong on paper. Like there are a lot of cards that would just benefit from coming back. Like
Perpetually.
yeah, forever. Like the card is unique in itself in that way, right?
So you're
And
just
then
you're looking at this kind of like
Yeah,
like you're in a something that you can always power overwhelm, something you can always like void terror, something you can always
yeah.
So this is like a 4 mana. You consistently buff your void terrors. You consistently get power whelmings that like work, and you don't just sacrifice
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, it's just like a consistency card, right? And then like the stuff that you could do with it could potentially be insane. Like what if we have like cards in the future that are like sacrifice a minion to do something, right? Like this would automatically like jump in value like insane. But as of right now, I do see like the Power Overwhelming and Void Terror synergy, as well as like being able to trade with it and being able to get it off of Void Collar into play for free. Like you're just investing in something that could potentially be really strong. I don't know where the place would be for it right now, but I kind of see it like in like a mid-rangey kind of control warlock that wants to use like Power Overwhelming, Implosion kind of stuff to just control the board. maybe something like the demon. Do you remember like the demon mid range decks that were like seeing play for a while with like?
Isn't that what's seeing play right now?
No, 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 not like the zoo, but like the control-y ones with like Bane of Doom and stuff, and like you're just like trying to like really control instead of just like rushing them down. You remember like Silent Storm's zoo or Silent Storm's demon deck from like
Wasn't
a
that
few
a
months
handlock?
ago. It wasn't like a handlock. It was like it was kind of like
I think
yeah.
there's been so many freaking demon nonsense
Decks, yeah.
that I've just like,
It was like
they all like
the really
they all go
old one
together.
from ESL, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was just like a control deck. It played like Zombie Chow and stuff.
Okay, I guess I slightly agree with you. This could be okay. It just needs more. It needs more stuff to be able to pair with it because just the power whelming and like void.
Yeah,
Terror
you need
and, like,
you need more
whatever.
stuff to abuse with it, but like it's definitely a card to look out for in the future.
The problem I have is like 4 mana.
Yeah, I mean 4 mana isn't like the most mana in the world, right? Like if
It's-
you're already playing a Warlock deck, you could be ahead on the board and then be able to play it.
Yeah, but like the
Yeah.
worst case scenario for this card is pretty bad, you know, and
Yeah.
and it happens quite a bit. Like where you just go, okay, well, I have
A 4 mana. It's my
Like-
4 drop, right? Like your 4 drop is a 1/1. It's not going to be that great. Yeah, I can see that. But
and I guess like having this be a silence target is kind of annoying for your opponent. But then if your opponent is silencing a 4 mana card, it's like actually worth it. You know that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing of being a 4 mana card is that like it feels bad to silence a 1/1, but like no, you're actually silencing a 4 mana card, so that's usually worth it. So
again, we don't know what cards like this card is going to be used with in the future, but I definitely do see the potential in this card. Like, there are cards in other card games that just like come back forever for free and are like insane and are like banned from play, like because they're so good. So this could potentially be something like that.
Peace Alien says Anima Golem. Great guys.
What if there's
Never
okay.
dies.
Yeah.
Animal Golem. That is
What if
that is
the-
something. Everyone forgot about Animal Golem, but this is pretty good synergy with Animal Golem.
Yeah. You get 10/10 worth of stats. and-
Just never. You can never get rid of the Animal Golem because you can never get rid of the Jet Steed.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So, the next one. Okay, we skipped a couple here. All right. Next one is this is an interesting card. No one's really talking about this that much, as far as I can tell so far. Wilfred Fizzlebang.
I think it'll be okay. If you get its ability off once, right? Like if you synergize it with like what's that one card? The fencing coach or whatever, right? So you get like a 0 mana life tap, maybe like.
The fencing coach. It costs 3 mana to get the fencing coach, though.
Yeah, I know, but like you're investing in the future to get like the free card off the Wilfred. Like,
So you play a 3 mana 2/2 and a 6 mana 4/4. So you can eventually. So you
so you can eventually draw your 1 drop that you could play for 0 mana. Yeah. I'm just. I
Even
don't
if
know,
you
like,
even if you got the dream and you got a giant off of it, like you're getting minus like combined
Yeah.
4 stats on your Wilfred. You're getting minus combined like 3 stats on your 3 to 4 stats on your thing. It's like by that time, even if it costs 0, you're not even getting that much value. You're losing so
Yeah.
much tempo.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't see myself playing this on turn 8 and then life tapping and then like being happy with my life. So
The one thing you can say is that you immediately have to kill it. But that said, if you play on turn 6,
it
Then
just gets
it's-
back for free to
yeah,
everything.
it just dies. And if you play on turn 8, then you get
Doesn't-
1 charge
yeah.
off, and it dies. Or usually dies.
And then it doesn't impact the board in any serious way unless like you flip over a bomb, but it's like all variants.
Yeah. So
So I'm gonna go with bad for now. Maybe I'm wrong, but I like bad. Bad
Okay.
seems good.
that seems good. I'll go bad plus. I think it might have some
Yeah.
kind of crazy deck that maybe someone can come up with.
Maybe fun deck.
All
Who
right.
knows?
What do you think about taking a little bit of a break? Because like Joey's not even here. We're about to get to the shaman cards. And I'm like getting hungry actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the drinking.
I'll take a break. I could
All
always
right.
get something to eat. I'm a big guy.
All right. So, guys, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna say I'm just gonna say 5 minutes. Okay. We good?
All right. Yeah.
So 5 minute break. I guess I'll just play. I'll play some.
Some Cardstone.
No, I'm. No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna get Kevin. Get a and just like stretch for a bit. But I'm gonna play some do. Some what the I don't even remember what the song's called anymore. Darude Sandstorm. There we go.
Darude Silent Storm.
Darude Silent Storm. That's the one.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, so guys,